Mike Bond of MMA Junkie and USA Today Sports here in Dublin, Ireland with UFC welterweight contender Rory MacDonald. Rory, you're one of the guest fighters for this event. What's it like to be out on fight week, but obviously not having to cut the weight? You get to meet the fans, enjoy yourself a little bit.
It's definitely more relaxed. You can have fun, meet people, talk to people, and it's fight week. You're like kind of in your own bubble, and you're like hotel room, gym, sauna, repeat. Yeah. So. No, it's been fun. I just got here this morning, and it's a beautiful city and amazing people, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, and obviously, first of all, how are you just feeling? It's been a few months since your fight with Robbie Lawler. Both of you guys got really banged up. What was it like just the months after that, weeks just recovering from, all the damage sustained by both of you guys?
It wasn't so bad. I mean, I took about 5 days, and then I started hitting the bag again, slowly, every day, more and more, and it really didn't take me too long to recover. My nose took a couple months to heal, and it's still healing. And I'm training hard and feeling really good, feeling better than ever, really, to be honest.
Yeah, and you just had an incredibly positive attitude after that fight. You're tweeting, it was the best time of your life. Is that how you still feel a few months later? What are your biggest takeaways when you look back, just reflecting on what that did for your career?
Yeah, well, it was an amazing experience. Being able to go in there 5 rounds, fight a fight with severe injuries that happened during the fight, like a broken nose and things like that, and battling through that experience. And it taught me lessons that I can't get in the gym or any other experience. You have to get in there and feel it and know how to react to that situation. So I'm happy that I went through that, because later on in my career I'm gonna have fights like that again, and I'm gonna have myself more composed. I'm gonna act better. I'm gonna stay more relaxed, stay more focused. I won't freak out and gas out in the fifth like I did. So I think it was really good for my career, and personally I enjoyed the experience. I think it was an amazing adrenaline rush, and being able to push through the things I was dealing with.
Yeah, is it more frustrating, or do you not look at all the fact that you were up 3-1 on all 3 judges' scorecards going into that 5th round when it ended, or is that something you can't really consider it's past as the past?
I don't really look into that. I mean, at the end of the day, Robbie Lawler put me away. He put the stamp on me. If I was ahead before that or not, he closed the fight before judges had their turn. So, it doesn't matter to me. He won the fight.
Yeah, and I know you've said your obvious goal is to be champion. What's it like now, being in that position, 2 losses to the title holder, but it doesn't really feel that way. It feels, you're kind of in that Chad Mendes realm. Well, the second fight was just so awesome that people don't really look at it that way. Do you feel that, a third fight is still very much within reach, or do you think it's going to be hard as long as Robbie holds the belt?
Oh, no, I'm sure, especially, 2 great fights we've had so far, and fans have loved it. I think they would love to see a trilogy fight, and I'd love to win that one. So, I'm looking forward to it, and whenever it comes, I'll be ready.
Yeah, and a lot of people were upset when Carlos Condit got the next title shot, but you called this months ago when I was in Tristar interviewing you, saying who should get the next shot. You said Carlos Condit. So, Johnny Hendricks is obviously very upset. How do you see that fight going down between Carlos and Robbie? Obviously, you've shared the cage with both those guys.
Yeah, both dangerous guys. I really don't know who to pick in that fight. I think they both bring a certain intensity and a certain mindset that just it's going to put on a great show. I'm gonna really enjoy it as a fan, and may the best men win.
And what did you make of what happened with Johnny Hendricks? He's supposed to fight Tyron Woodley the last event earlier this month. Weight cut went poorly, had to go to the hospital. Fight got canceled. From your perspective, those are 2 guys. They're saying they're vying for a title shot. When you see, your peers, these fellow contenders, something like that happen with his weight cut, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I felt bad for Tyrone. He cut the weight, and he was doing what he had to do, and his opponent didn't do his job, didn't keep up his end but I don't know what Johnny was dealing with leading up to that. I don't know if he had a sickness or an illness. I didn't research it at all or hear anything, so it's hard for me to say. It's just unfortunate that happened, and Johnny's, I don't think he's missed weight before. I think he's came close a couple times, but he usually pretty professional. It sucks it had to happen that way, but I'm sure we'll be back on track. And yeah.
Yeah, and just to change gears a little bit, Tristar is all over the news these past couple of weeks, whether, it's the talk of George maybe coming back, Sage Northcutt. Let's start with the Sage thing. You were there. We saw photos of you, going to dinner, training with them. What was it like? What are your thoughts on this 19-year-old undefeated, phenom right now?
Yeah, great potential. Great potential. UFC definitely scooped up a bright kid, so it's exciting, and I'm happy he came to Tristar. It was a great experience learning from him and his father. I was asking him questions, and they were showing me some things, and I had a great time with them. They're great people, and we'd love to have them back anytime.
Yeah, and it sounds like from what Faraz has said, he is joining the team. He's going to be a full-time member, at least for his training camps. What do you see? You were kind of in that position once. You were very young when you went to Tristar. Not more experience than he has now. But what kind of advice, tips do you give someone like that, where so impressionable, so much potential?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much in the exact spot he was. I came to Montreal when I was about 20 years old, 19, 18. Visiting, so I'll help him out as much as possible, and it's up to him. It's an individual sport, and he seems like a hard worker and he's focused. So I think with his natural athleticism, his hard working attitude, I think he has a very bright future.
Yeah, and just, to George, it seemed for so long, we'd talk about him, but it never really seemed like there was any progress one way or the other until recently he did that interview with RDS in Quebec and kind of said, he's actually feeling kind of the urge for the first time about coming back. When you see him in the gym, I don't know what kind of conversations you've had, but, your gut feeling, do you think we see George St. Pierre fight again?
I have no idea. Honestly, I never talked to him about it. We pretty much just talk as friends, and we do the work, we train, and that's pretty much it. I try to stay out of that. It's his decision, and he's a smart guy. He was a champ for many years and at the top of the sport. So if he decides that he's ready to come back, then he's ready. I have all the confidence in the world in him.
Yeah. And finally, just before I let you go, your future, we talked off camera, you don't have a fight booked quite yet, but, there's been a lot of talk about the Hector Lombard matchup. You guys were supposed to fight last year in Montreal, fell through because obviously stuff that happened with his drug test. Is that kind of the fight you're holding out for? His suspension's going to be up at the end of January, or are you kind of just training, willing to get in there anytime, even if there's, an injury with this Lawler Condit fight? Who knows?
Anyone's good with me. I'm here to fight the best and fight anyone. So if they want me to fight Hector, bang, done. I'll sign the paper. No worries. And if it's someone else, that too. It's all good.